This is not your mother's church. How about that? Welcome. Thank you, guys. That was fun. Welcome. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Theresa Fieberts, and you are a bright, shining light. It's fun to see you smiling. It's fun to have you here. I'm imagining you at home smiling with all that, too. What a joy it is to be together. That's for sure. When we are together, we help reflect that divinity to one another. We help remind each other that this is a friendly universe, right? It's a friendly universe, that there's something larger going on than maybe the little trouble that you're experiencing right now, even if it feels like a big trouble. We're here to remind each other of that and reflect that to one another. And I love how we do it. Today we're wrapping up this month's theme of spiritual self-care. And I've had a lot of fun with this topic. I've really enjoyed it a lot. Today I'm moving into desires. We're going to talk about desires. Last week we talked about pleasure. And all of this is really calling us again and again and again. We're always being called to have a deeper awareness, to be mindful of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we want, what we desire, right? And then look at what the motivation behind that is. It's just every day, every moment, we are at a point of choice. But when our choice is energized by that kind of creative, intelligent knowledge, awareness, then we really become powerful, I think, in our lives. And does that mean you can have whatever you want? I probably am not going to be as tall as Kathleen. As long as I can just treat, om, visualize, vision, cut out magazines. Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. But can I create within myself a sense, a deep feeling of well-being and beauty and confidence that I can walk into a room and feel like I'm 5'9"? Absolutely, I can, and I do. Yeah. I've met people that literally, I'm sorry, I have to break from the script right now. I've met people that have said that watched us online, and they meet me and they go, "Oh, I thought you were much taller." Why? For those of you at home, I'm 5 foot, and I'm tall, standing tall to be 5 foot. Yeah. So what the science mind teaches is this right thinking, kind of right thinking, with right thinking, positive thinking. We can transcend limiting beliefs, right, and experience a greater thing in life. So does that mean we can have anything we want? I'm going to leave that up to you to decide for yourself. But if your desires are destructive to yourself, destructive to other people, if it's against nature, against the nature of who you are, then you will suffer, and I can probably promise you that, right? So that's how I want to answer that question, can you have anything you want? So right now, we're going to shift whatever energy maybe that we walked in here with, or increase whatever energy we may have walked in here with joyful noise. They're going to sing once again, Gentle with Myself. We've done this all month long, and I've really enjoyed this too. It's meditative. Go ahead, feel into it, into a higher idea for ourselves, and then I'll take us somewhere after that. So hold your applause. I know you'll want to.
I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I'll be easy on myself. And I love myself like a brand new baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I rock myself like a newborn baby child. I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I love myself like a newborn baby child.
In this beautiful, sacred, safe, loving container that we've set here for ourselves, for our work here this morning in community. Let us lean even further into that abyss of love, into that space of creativity and intelligence, that energy which literally brought us here into form, that energy that wishes to continue to move and express and experience in, as, and through each one of us in such a brilliant and unique way. Let's feel deeply into that space as we do this work personally and collectively, the work of recognizing who and what we are, recognizing the incredible power and responsibility within to live a life in alignment with our highest and best good, knowing that the highest and best good for me, for anyone, is the highest and best good for you, for everyone, because there is only one. And that one has multiplied and diversified itself into all life, all forms, all people, all beauty, all conditions, all circumstances. I open my heart and mind now to that knowing, and I invite you to join me. Opening heart and mind to the divine presence that uniquely, divinely is personalized in, as, and through each one. For this, I am incredibly grateful. I call it good and very good, and I let it be, and so it is.
This is a song from Daniel Nahmod, If I Only Make You Mine. It's a love song to the divine. If I only make you mine, my God, if I only let you in my heart, if I only give myself to you, would you show me what you'd have me do? If I only speak your name, my God, if for once I'm not so very proud, would you show me what love's all about? If I only make you mine. If I only
That was a beautiful Daniel Nahmod song. Thank you. If only make you mine. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ron Frost, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center. And I'm super excited today because I've realized that I'm probably going to live to at least 124 years of age. Next month is my birthday. I'm turning 62, and I haven't had my midlife crisis yet. So you do the math. And in the alignment with spiritual self-care, I decided to do a really short reading and share a brief story about something that's going on in my life that I believe parallels this whole topic of spiritual self-care. And it's from this book. It actually looks like a mini Science of Mind textbook. How many people are familiar with the Science of Mind textbook? And I picked this up, and I really thought it was like Marnark notes or Cliff notes, but I realized it's actually a book on prayer. Ernest Holmes wrote this. It's powerful, and if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty of prayer and samples of prayer, this is a wonderful, wonderful book. And I'm going to read something really short from this. It's called The Power Within. Through spiritual discernment, we see that we have within us a power which is greater than anything we shall ever contact, a power that can overcome every obstacle in our experience and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and a new life. If God be for us, who can be against us?
Right.
As I embodied this, recently my life has gone through a lot of things. I worked a corporate job for quite a while, and I absolutely loved it, but then I quit about a year ago. It was a great job. I worked for a franchise, and I got to travel to many different cities and visit many different franchisees. And it was always that excitement of the adventure. You never knew where you were going to go, what flavor of rental car you were going to get, and the meetings and the enjoyment of being with people and having real life conversations. Matter of fact, the company gave me an American Express card, and I could buy donuts and I could buy pizza for the staff, and I could take the owner out to dinner. And when you worked on their goals and you saw transformation happening over time and they grew their businesses, they were happy and you felt good because you were their consultant to help them get there. But when COVID hit, everything changed, right? It changed in our life. And everything became a Zoom thing. And for me, I'm a people person and I like activity, I like movement. And I was just getting from my bedroom, going down the hall to my office. And it didn't change after COVID, because the powers to be at the company said, you know what, we figured out how we could save money, we can cut down on travel, and we're going to do more things virtually. And I'm like, not me. So I quit. And I didn't know what to do with my time, and I started doing projects around the house. I love tools. I love building things, and I was going to Home Depot every single day and trying to figure out, what next project, what next thing can I build. And the only problem was I had nobody to talk to. I'm hammering nails, I'm painting, and it's like nobody to turn around and enjoy this with. And I love people. And so I started thinking, if God be for us, who could be against us? I can really do anything. And I remembered a Bashar quote. Now, for those of you who don't know, Bashar was channeled by Daryl Anka, who is actually a relative of Paul Anka, the great singer. And he's a multidimensional being. And whether you're into that or not, it's the wisdom that comes through these messages. And the one message that he shared was, follow your highest excitement with no insistence on how the outcome is going to turn out. And I thought, wow, that is cool. And here I am in Home Depot, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to work here? And in my highest excitement, I asked, are you hiring? And of course, they said yes. So I got a job. I showed up, and it was a part-time job, and I showed up 6 hours before my time started. I realized I'm a little dyslexic. I thought they said 2 to 8. It's actually 8 to 2. And I'm like, well, that's even better because I don't go to sleep until probably around 2 in the morning anyways. And I might as well be doing something really cool. And this is when they shut down the store and you build these shelves and you put up displays. And last week we had 5 ceiling fans come in and we had to take down 4. We had to figure it out, right? So it's the experience. It's not so much of what you do. It's the experience of who you do it with. And this is a fun, lively group, and they joke a lot. And matter of fact, my coworker's named Jesus. So I figured out, everybody else is calling him Jesus, but I figured, name tag with J-E-S-U-S, but then I was corrected. The reality of life is, if God is for us, who could be against us? And if we always follow our highest excitement, we don't know what that is. Your highest excitement might be gardening. It might be music. It might be traveling somewhere. It might be working at Home Depot.
Amen.
We are hiring.
Yeah. Awesome.
My, oh my, thank you, Ron. Thank you. Let's do that. Let's follow our highest excitement. Yes. And I think when Otis Redding wrote this song, what he was thinking about his highest excitement was probably someone he was looking at with desire. This is called These Arms of Mine. These arms of mine, they are lonely, feeling blue. These arms of mine, they are yearning, wanting you. And if you would let them hold you, oh, how grateful I would be. These arms of mine, they are burning from wanting you. These arms of mine, they are wanting to hold you. And if you would just let them hold you, oh, how grateful I would be. And if you would let them hold you, oh, how grateful I would be. Come on, baby, just be my loving woman. Be my loving woman now. I need someone somebody to treat me right. I need your loving arms to hold me tight. These arms of mine.
Now that is desire. That is longing. And shows up in so many ways, doesn't it? Can you feel that longing in your heart to express and to experience life? That spiritual longing? There. We were married 25 years ago. Tomorrow, I'm doing a vow renewal on Anna Maria Beach for a couple that's been married 25 years. The beginning of this month, we had Pam and David's vow renewal in this room after 40 years. Longing, desire, and I see my marriage with Bobby, absolutely Pam and David's marriage, and this couple on Anna Maria, who I've not yet met, but they sought me out because I'm a Science Mind minister. They came from a CSL community to Florida a year and a half ago, but they live kind of in inland where there really isn't anything. But they sought us out because they want to express to their friends and family that are going to be there who they are by means of a Science of Mind minister. Very interesting, isn't it? It's interesting to me. So when I tie this in together, I do so from that awareness that there's always something deeper that we don't necessarily see that's in operation. When we're talking about spiritual self-care, knowing who we are, being our true self, feeling into what the desires and the passions are within us in a way that is aligning with our highest and best, it comes through in every aspect of our life. In every area of our lives. Life is here for us to enjoy it. And we might also say, life is here to enjoy itself by means of us. Because if life's not for us, who is against us? Do we stand in our own way? How often do we maybe stand in our own way? So today we're here to uniquely express our deepest, and I'm going to say our deepest and our loftiest desires. I want you to think of your loftiest desires today. That's what we're going to look at. Pam and David, their commitment in marriage was so heartwarming to me. It was so inspirational. It's about self-care, the care of other, the care of spirit as self, and the care of humanity, all of it in their wedding vows. It's beautiful. It's about honesty. It's about expectancy. Not only expectancy that we're going to grow and change. Physically, we're going to grow and change. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, we're going to grow and change. But we're welcoming that. We're expecting that. Right? I'm looking at, they're right there. So there they are. So, and there's this element in life that is uncertain. We don't know. We don't know what tomorrow is, right? We don't know. And written in their vows is that acceptance of that unknown. And it came from a place of where we are today, where we're going. We renewed them. Here we are today, where we're going. And you know where they're going? To touch humanity. That their marriage is influencing humanity. A lofty desire, my loves. A lofty desire. And I love that. In their vows that they're living together, evolving together, generating energy together for themselves and humanity. Their goal in unison as a couple is to work for the evolution of humanity. Lofty goal, lofty desires, right? Lofty desires. I would say that Bobby and I, ours are similar. There's this shared commitment not only to our marriage, but front and center in our vows is the self-evolution, that we know that we're always going to be able to be ourselves to the other, and that we know in advance that the other will see us in that light. And I don't know that we knew 25 years ago that we'd be here doing this. We didn't see that. But yet, there was as I go on, your story was so spot on, Ron. It just blows my mind. One mind, right? One mind. I don't know. I've told the story of how Bobby and I met. So many of you have heard it. I'm just going to briefly, for those who haven't heard it, we met, his band was playing at a wedding I was at. I was newly separated, and I was flirting like crazy in front of this guitar player. And yeah, flirting like crazy. And once, finally by the end of the evening, I realized how come I was recognizing him. I was recognizing from the Center for Positive Living. I knew where he sat on Sunday mornings. He had been in some classes with me. And then I was really hot for him. Then I was like, I gave him my business card. I want to date you. Because I knew we were cutting through a lot of BS. There was already an alignment of what we believed about life. First off, we believed life is for us, not against us, right? So 15 years ago, when I decided I was going to go back to school, there was an automatic yes from Bobby and an automatic yes to wherever that's leading, because I don't know where that's going to lead you, but I'm in it with you. An automatic yes. And then 5 years ago, when the idea came to us envisioning that we would start this community, it was an absolute automatic yes. Automatic yes, right? Lofty desires? It was natural. Sometimes when I look at it, I think, whoa, it was pretty lofty. And it still is, But it's natural, isn't it? It's natural. So, Bobby, come up here with me. And on your way, grab one of those sheets, because I didn't print out the one with the big typeset for us. And I will be gentle with myself. So Bobby and I are going to do something we don't normally do. I do not like pomp and circumstance. You guys all know that about me. But I read this with my girlfriend, Cindy Grimes, at the graduation, the Holmes Institute graduation recently. And I thought to myself, this is why I do what I do. Because I believe so much in this. There's extra ones if you guys want to read along, if you want to read out loud, read yourself. There are some extras. Bobby's going to read the Declaration of Principles. The Declaration of Principles were written in the 1920s sometime. I think it was maybe around I don't know, early 20s. It's been in every issue of the Science Mind magazine, the beginning of the magazine. And then I'm reading the Global Vision. The Global Vision was created maybe some 20-something years ago by United Centers for Spiritual Living, and is a vision for our communities. And again, we don't read this stuff normally to you, but I really want you to get the gist of the desire, the longing. So, Bobby, go ahead.
All right, my part is Declaration of Principles. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God.
We envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God.
We believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit.
We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action.
We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding.
We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought, a world where each and every person discovers his or her own personal power and the ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone.
We believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it.
We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience.
We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all.
We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness.
We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence.
We envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging. A world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice.
We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God.
We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, where there's generous and continuous sharing of these resources.
We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it.
We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm.
We believe in the healing of the sick and control of conditions through the power of this mind.
We envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics.
We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all.
We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation.
We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God.
Lofty desires? Absolutely. Absolutely, and I commit my life to them. Absolutely lofty desires. What are your lofty desires? What are your lofty, big, high vibe, awesome, outrageous desires? What are they? This is perfect timing for us to look at this, to ask the question, to delve into it. We're halfway through the year. Halfway. We just had summer solstice last week, right? So we're halfway through. I don't know if you make New Year's resolutions or set any kind of intentions or goals for yourself. If you were with us on January 1st, we visioned. We sought Spirit's idea for what wants to happen through us this year, by means of us this year. Those kinds of desires of the heart lead us to right action when we follow those dots, right? When we're coming from that place, that soul assignment, when we're thinking constructively and positively about it. So I want to know, who knows that Taoist story of the wood carver? No one? Wow, I thought there'd be people in here that would know it. So this actually was a poem, I believe, first, written by the Chinese philosopher Xuanzang, 4th century BCE. There's a prince in the village that asked the master wood carver to carve a bell stand for him. This bell stand is to hold the bell in the center of town for the religious ceremonies, right? This guy, his name is Kong, maybe I'm pronouncing it right, and Kong, or Ching, maybe it's Ching. I think it's Ching. Ching is a master wood carver, and he has over 30 years experience. He's got a great reputation. This is why the prince went to him. But you know, in that era, time and place, when you get a commission for a piece of art like that, it's more like a commandment, and if you don't please me, off with your head, right? So he was very fearful. Hard kind of vibe to be creating a piece of work, right? So what did he do? He started fasting. Now this is a story, it's a metaphor. He starts fasting. And what's he fasting from? First, he's fasting from that fear. He's fasting from the fear. He's fasting from possible praise. He's fasting from the gain. He's fasting from the blame. He's fasting from everything that gets in the way of what he's there to do, what he's being called to do, right? And so after it was created, it was brilliant, it was beautiful. All the townspeople just thought it was simply amazing work of art. And the prince wants to know, how do you do this? Are the spirits working through you? Are the spirits doing it for you? How does this happen? How is this happening? And so Qing told the prince what happened. Basically, he says to him, to the guy that cut off his head, I had to forget about you. You were of no consequence to me. You became of no consequence. Because, see, by the time he had fasted for 7 days, he didn't even know where his hands and feet were. Right? Simply present. He was not paying attention to anything that would distract him. And certainly the prince would distract him. So he's no longer paying attention. Now, Parker Palmer, who shares this story in his book, The Act of Life here, says, because he knew the important thing was the work before the work. That the wood carver had to do the work before the work. You did the work before the work before you even wrote those vows, didn't you? The work before the work, right? Now, surely he had skills. He had skills. He was a master wood carver. But those weren't the important ones. He collected his thought into a single thought, the desire to create this bell stand, right? And so when we do that, when we're so clear where it's coming from, what it is and where it's coming from and who we are, all the crooked places are made straight. All the doors simply open. You get the job at Home Depot. Yeah? So, let's look at what's important in this story. And it's how we relate to these ideas in our own life is really gives the quality and the meaning to the actions that we take in life. Is our action in harmony with the highest of who we are? That's what we're looking at here. And to me, there can be no other way of self-care. When my actions are in harmony with my highest and best growth, right? So we look at the motives. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Ron asked himself. I don't want to be on Zoom in meetings all the time, and that's not the kind of connection with people I want. Because I know that I need that connection with people, in person and real. Yeah. Why am I doing this? Every action we have has a motivation behind it. Every action we take has some thought or belief, some motivation behind it. And that is the creative mindset that we are creating our lives from. And my life and your life and all of us together in this room, just think about this. You're creating your life from your mindset, and the whole world looks like that, doesn't it? Because collectively we're doing this work. We're not living in a vacuum. So that wood carver did not fear. He didn't allow it. He had to let it go. He had to fast from it so it didn't paralyze him, or else he wouldn't have gone to work. We need to remember that in our own lives, because we become automations that move but do not choose. Those are Parker Palmer's words. Then we become automations that move but do not choose. So if you feel stuck because there's been failures in your past, there's memories that you cannot let go of, the healing happens and all the pent-up energies are released. All those unrealized desires that we have, the longing that we have, we all have it. We all have it. They flow with absolute joyful expression when we are in communion with our nature, when we are in communion with spirit, when that communion feels complete, when we have touched the driver of our desires. So, secondly, we all have the right gifts for that desire. Your desire is unique to you, and your gifts match your desire. Most absolutely, they do. Beyond being a master wood carver, what did he show? He showed patience. He showed the ability to have insight, because then he went into the forest. I'm going to get ahead of my story. He showed patience and insight. And then he was fueled. His actions were fueled. For myself, I might have skills of public speaking. I started speaking in high school. So I might have skills of public speaking. But those aren't the skills that were necessary for me to do this. I believe my natural ability to be enthusiastic, my natural inclination to be passionate and enthusiastic is what my skills are here in this community. Bobby's skills of patience, of support. He is an incredible support person. From his first professional gig, he's watching, he's knowing how to support who's leading the band, right? The wood carver patiently waited for insight. He took risks and he trusted outcomes. We spoke about that too. Every one of you have unique gifts that are matched to your desire. The third is that the wood carver transcended and transformed the other. Life requires partnerships. Again, we don't live in a vacuum. Right now, we're in a collective, right? We're sitting in a collective. And this is the key. This is really the key, from a science of mind perspective, is key to knowing how can I know how to care for and love you if I cannot care for and love myself? Right? How can we do that? How can we do that? It's about partnership. So the wood carver had to know himself. He had to be in touch with his own truth. He had to act from that confidence of knowing who he was. He has to have reverence for himself and for what he was co-creating. We're attracting people into our lives from what we believe about ourselves. We attract into this community who we are. That's who we attract. So he attracted the perfect tree in the forest. He went into a dense forest. And he attracted, he knew, he partnered with the tree that had the bell stand in it. That's how easy life can be. To make our dreams, our desires come to fruition. And fourth, we have to not be obsessed with perfection or with outcome, just as Ron was talking about. We have to give up, really, that control of outcome. For me, it's counting heads here on Sunday morning. I have got to stop that behavior. I do this because I have to do this. I can't not do it. You need to listen to what it is in you. And then that longing, you give it faith, you give it trust, right? You know that the universe has got your back, that we live in a loving and supportive universe. Parker Palmer, in his book, talks about friends of his that work tirelessly for social justice causes. Those in Catholic charities and his Buddhist friends and the people that work for clean water for people around the world, you know, in parts of the water where they don't have clean water and all of this. And he wants to know from them, how do you keep doing this when we continue to have wars, we continue to have homeless people? You know, it seems like it's never ending, right? Seems never ending. How do you keep doing it? One woman said, just because something is impossible, Parker, doesn't mean you don't do it. Just because it seems impossible doesn't mean you stop, you don't do it. Powerful. And another said, it's not whether I'm being effective. This one brought tears to my eyes, but faithful. It's not whether I'm effective, it's whether I'm faithful to that desire in me, that longing in me, that calling in me. And it's not just me, it's you. It's each one of us have that. So ask yourself, what are your lofty desires, and take action on that. There's blank cards in your laps or in this basket. I want to just take a moment. I know I've gone long. Not even going to apologize for it. I want you to check in with these lofty desires of yours. Check in with the action that you're called to do. Check in to see whether or not it aligns with your inner nature. We're not crafting a thing, people. We're not crafting a bell stand. We're crafting a life. You are crafting a life, not a thing. Right? So close your eyes if you're comfortable with it and sink back into that space that we created in the beginning of our service. Where we're gentle with ourselves. Where we hold ourselves like a newborn baby child. With life in it, with a whole life beyond it. Where we're going to live to 125 years. Doesn't matter how old we are. There's a life seeking expression in, as, and through each one of us in a very unique and special way. So we lean in and open our hearts and minds to that presence, to that availability, to that intuitive space, to that place that the wood carver went. Letting go of all the stuff that says I'm not enough, I don't have the experience, I'm too old, whatever it is. And ask your higher wisdom self now, what is Spirit's loftiest desires for my life? What is Spirit's loftiest desires for my life? And we listen. You might see something, you might hear something, feel something. What is Spirit's loftiest desires for my life? What does that look like? Open your mind's eye. What does that look like? What does it feel like? And how do I get in the way? What must I fast from? What do I need to release? What do I need to let go of? What no longer serves me? Listen. And what do I need to embrace? What are my natural gifts? What am I here to explore, to express? Just check in one last time. Is there anything else I need to know right here, right now? Is there anything else I need to know? What I know for each one of us is that there is an unstoppable spirit moving in, as, and through that which is seeking expression through us. That which we are looking for in life, we are looking with. There is no boundary, there's no border, there's no limitation, there's no lack. I affirm for each and every one of us an absolute straight road. Every door opens. We step through now that portal of life that says yes. Yes, 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 my beloved, yes. Only yes. Forever yes. Forever you. Forever yes. And so it is.
It's lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. It keeps me up, filled with desire, makes my dreams come true forevermore. God's love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me, lifting me higher and higher, higher. God's love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me, lifting me higher and higher. I do believe that I have been blessed. My heart is open, I am reborn. A co-creator with God as my partner. God is at my side forevermore. God's love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me, lifting me higher and higher, higher. God's love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me, lifting me higher and higher. You know God's love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. It keeps me up, filled with desire, makes my dreams come true forevermore. Makes my dreams come true forevermore. Oh yes. Lift us up.
I wanted to add one thing to the list of things that you bring, dear Theresa, and that's your heart. And not just that, but your willingness to open it and share it. So thank you. Thank you. Ron shared a personal story. I have an aunt who's turning 93 in August. And I shared this with the Joyful Noise on Friday, but she sent me an email the other day saying that she had just celebrated her first year of sobriety after 72 years of drinking. And she's not a science of mind person, but she did it without AA, she did it without meetings, she made a decision. And obviously I'm very proud of her in that. And I think she's probably thinking maybe she's reached her midlife crisis. But her three older sisters all thought that she was going to be gone years ago. And they're gone, she's not. I don't know if she's that well preserved, but that was a joke at some point. Anyway, we're here to talk about circulation, and my friend here, Reverend Diana, who I'm anointing way early since she's still starting her classes, but she's been doing some work for my wife and I sent some money to pay for that work, and she said, I looked at that payment and I realized that some of that was going to get tithed. You got it, and it came through you, and I got it, and now I'm going to tithe some of that to the center. And when I was at the center down in Cape Coral, I would get paid, have money from other sources, I would tithe, and I got paid in part based on the total tithe for the center. So it would come back to me, and then it would go back to the center, and then it would come back to me, and it would go back to the center. So there's this sort of perpetual flow and movement, and it's happening everywhere in your lives. The things that you give forth come back to you in different ways that maybe you're not perceiving in the moment. But this is our moment for sharing and supporting this center. Whether it's a little or a lot, it doesn't matter. I learned years ago that if we don't learn to celebrate and play with money, it won't come and celebrate and play with us. So whether it's a nickel or a dime or 100 or 1,000, it doesn't matter. It's the flow. It's the movement. So we just take a moment to consciously bless the giver and bless the gift, knowing that it comes forward in such beautiful ways and ways that we do not understand and don't need to understand, but simply serves this center, creating a more and more powerful ministry that reaches out to serve those principles that we heard, the statement of vision of the Centers for Spiritual Living. That is all flowing through us right here and right now, and I'm grateful, and so it is.
Thank you, Rev G. Let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Just a few announcements. First, the July Science Mind magazine is in, $5. They're over on the table. You can buy these at Barnes & Noble too, but we have them here. And on this month is Don Jose Ruiz, who's Don Miguel Ruiz's son. And inside you'll see in the article where our spiritual leader, Reverend Sonny Cantrell Smith, has interviewed him on his new book, that they're doing an interview with him on online, face-to-face, where he's going to be speaking. You'll have a time for a Q&A. I think it's July 17th, and anybody's welcome to do that. So check it out over there. Today is our final showing of the Vista Conference, so anybody that wants to join us, you might want to grab some food. We'll be over at Emil's Theater Room, right across the street, that condo right there. Between 1 and 1:15. And Satya's workshop. There's flyers over there. Those of you that did her workshop, how many of us? It was phenomenal. It was just absolutely phenomenal. Raise your hand because you were amazing in it. You didn't even raise your hand. Oh my God, we had so much fun. So anyway, just a little hint, what she's doing is, so the sign-up's over there and the flyers are over there. It's on the 9th of July. But she's going to be accepting a small group that will start working together in her home on improv. And then we've got some plans for where that group's going to show up and do some improv. And it's very, very exciting stuff. So, and Satya is just brilliant teacher with this, so you don't want to miss it. Sign up for the newsletter. If you're newer here, we haven't met yet, make sure you introduce yourself to me afterwards. I really would love to meet you, and I sometimes go running out the door to follow people. So if I tell you to come see me, then maybe we'll actually get to meet. And Hector has something he wants to share, and I thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. No, I'm not going to sing. The reason I'm here is I just wanted to acknowledge some people, some volunteers that we have. As you walk in Sunday mornings, you've got greeters first week. So they're broken up 2 per week. First week is Hannah and Dolly. Raise your hands, please. Angelica and Laurel. Second week. Third week, Michelle, Pam, and David. Fourth week, Nicole and Jane. So we also have Leslie and Kim that help out with the setup. putting out signs, putting all these chairs up. As you know, we have to leave the room clean when we leave. So I'm here asking for some additional volunteers. We could use the help. One Sunday a month, 9:30 until we're done here. But that's all you. And the more volunteers that we have, the less you need to volunteer. But if you can do one weekend, get here at 9:30, one Sunday, 9:30 till about 1. Please let me know. I could really appreciate the help. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Hector. And we're closing up with, we're going to do a reprise of the chant that we did for David and Pam's wedding. The little sheets have the words on it, so join us as soon as you get in tune with it.
All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Ishkala Mabuleya, Ishkala Mabuleya, Ishkala Mabuleya, Ishkala Mabuleya. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Ishkala Mabuleya, Ishkala Mabuleya, Ishkala Mabuleya, Ishkala Mabuleya. One more time. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Inshallah, Mabuleya, Inshallah, Mabuleya, Inshallah, Mabuleya, Inshallah, Mabuleya. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Have a great week, everybody.